So hello everyone, I will have this microphone. You will not hear my voice, but it's for the people online because I've heard there are people online. So before we start, just to be sure, all of you, you have your backpack with you. Your backpack is not in the room there.
So I can close it.
You're amazing, really. Bravo for that. That's really a good start. Because, no, you're not going to do the bad students or the bad teachers also chatting. So we are not going to stay really long in this room, just enough for you to sweat a little bit. Welcome on the Côte d'Azur. You have the best of it, the clouds and the hot temperatures. So before I introduce you to this week, I hope the memories you will build and keep from this week, let's welcome the big boss, of course, Luana Montero.
Thank you, Christophe. Can you hear me? I know the online audience needs the microphone, and I hope I'm not shouting to you, so please regulate your computers, dear online audience. Hello, we are finally here. Dear students, dear partners, dear colleagues. The International Master of Marine Biological Resources, IMBRC, is a joint master program of 11 top European universities on the field of marine biological sciences. The jointness of the IMBRC master is real and it's unique, as evidenced by our program structure, including maximizing mobility opportunities, the composition and functioning of our educational board, the student board, and of course, our joint course elements, such as the professional practice, the summer school, and this very own event that is about to officially start. Specifically, in IMBRC, we aim to form the next generation of marine scientists, ready for the job market and or ready for pursuing further advanced academic degrees. You, graduating students, have specialized in one of the 5 pillars that makes our majors of specialization, either in the realm of biotechnology and blue economy, analysis and forecasts of marine systems, ocean literacy, fisheries and aquaculture, or applied marine ecology and conservation. But who are we? The full IMBRC consortium partners consist of a dedicated group of professors, researchers, administrators across Europe, from Algarve University in Portugal to Bergen University in Norway, from Gothenburg University in Sweden to Spanish partners, Oviedo, host of last year's annual symposium, and University of the Basque Country, to the 3 French partners, Universities of Brest, Sorbonne, and Côte d'Azur, this year's annual symposium host. From Atlantic Technological University in Galway, Ireland, to Polytechnic University of Marche in Ancona, Italy. And last, but definitely not least, to Belgium, where the main coordinating partner, University of Ghent, is located. It's because of the hard work, dedication, and expertise of these 11 partners that IMBRC was founded and continue to exist. It's also thanks to the hard work of our consortium partners that we are an Erasmus Mundus joint master, which reflects the high level of quality and education and the jointness of IMBRC. Our students, or better saying, you, graduating students, after successful completion, are awarded with a joint master degree diploma, signed by the legal representatives of all 11 full partner universities, a key and unique document that reflects the unique character of IMBRC and is essential for the future career opportunities of our alumni. After 2 years, 4 semesters of 30 ECTS credits. You, or our graduating students, to the online audience, are ready to present and defend their master thesis work in 1.5 full days of presentations. That is without doubt the high point in the schedule of the IMBRC Symposium, though not the only one. Our host, Christophe Mouquet, coordinator here in Partner Côte d'Azur, will soon give you more insights, also to our online audience, on the full program for this week. I'm sure that, like me, you students, partners, friends, and family are excited to learn about the science our students, or your colleagues, have been carrying over the past months. This Wednesday and Thursday, we will learn about the science done by over 100 students at top research institutions in Europe and beyond. Our vast network of over 200 associate partners across the globe makes it possible for our students to access marine biological resources in the different environments and regions of the planet. From Austria and UK, or from the famous Galapagos Islands in Ecuador, to the Philippines, Australia, New Zealand, Brazil, the list is long and impressive. Most importantly, it is relevant. Relevant for the future of you, young scientists, soon masters in marine biological resources. Relevant to the world, with the undoubtful contribution of your scientific findings. We count on you to act as ambassadors. Ambassadors of real science, of work and life ethics. To fight against ignorance, to fight against fake news, and to bring understanding and solutions to the current and to the future generations. This IMBRC Symposium is the 7th edition of a unique event that brings the IMBRC family, its core actors, together. That being said, it is an honor to officially declare that the 7th Annual Symposium in Marine Biological Resources, IMBRC, is officially open. Let's dive into marine minds, and may the science and the sea be with you. Thank you.
Okay, guys, you can, for the people online, you can also say hello. Behind you, there is a camera, and currently it's a wide angle, so you can say hello to whoever is online. Or will be online for you, maybe will watch this online after. So, here we go. Yeah, I forgot the name of Luna here, sorry. So yeah, welcome at Université Côte d'Azur. I hope that you had either the simplest or the most experienceful travel. I'm not sure which one you had. For some partners, it was not the simplest, I have to say. Some of them has been diverted to Marseille, to Lyon, to Montpellier. It was really funny experience, I think, for them. So we are in one of the campuses of Université Côte d'Azur. It's Université Côte d'Azur, so it's really large. We have campuses in Nice, here in Sofia, in Cannes, and even in Sofia, the main campus is 200 meters away from here. So we decided to be here, actually in smaller buildings than previously imagined, because it will be our building for 1 week. It will be at ease, peaceful. There should be no neighbors, noisy neighbors, I hope. Actually, we just discovered, 2 weeks ago, that they were supposed to install the air conditioning. It could have been nice, but not having the construction work this week. So we just no go, forget it. So thanks to you, here we will have to wait 1 more month to have the air conditioning in the building. So however, even if the building is ours, and even if it's July, even if it's in France, you have people working in this building during this week, including the corridor where your presentation will take place. So, okay, you have to be happy anyway, huh? But at some point we may ask you to be a little bit less happy, obviously. So yeah, after 2 years of a unique experience, I think, Luana, you say that, it's a unique experience to be an IMBRC student, wandering everywhere in the world. Some of you that I met in a summer school or here at one of the semesters, you are really close to the end. Well, to the beginning of something better, maybe. Something also really important. Something we call the rest of your life. So yeah, also because this week maybe is the only moment where you're all gathered together for these 2 years. We try to make this week a little bit special, so as I said before, that you can create memories. And that's why we are not going to stay more than an hour and a half in this room, because so in a few minutes I will hand over to Cécile Saboureau, the Vice President for International Affairs, Eric Rottinger, who is going to talk about the need of interdisciplinarity in science. And then I would like to talk a little bit about the Mediterranean Sea, because right after you take your backpack and we go to Les Reims. Alors, we are not sure about the weather, but Tim checked, and Tim knows a lot of things about a lot of technical aspects, and Tim checked, and weather should be better and better through the day. The goal is that we should, at some point, we'll see if it works, yes, we should have dinner here. And the sun sets behind that mountain ridge. But I'm not sure we will see the sun today. So, you will have some time when we arrive to have a look to our famous Posidonia, the really emblematic seagrass of the Mediterranean Sea. Our little fish, perhaps they are not as colorful than in the Philippines or on the Bahamas, but they're really worth it. So I would like to talk a little bit about them after. We have asked you to leave your luggage in the amphitheater just there, A2. So you have your luggage, your backpack with you. You will retrieve your luggage tomorrow afternoon, hopefully. So we hope to have we hope to have good time there tonight after your free time. We will have a barbecue with some vegan options. And you will sleep where the man with the iron mask has been imprisoned. The man with an iron mask. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can check online. In French, c'est l'homme au masque de fer. He was imprisoned just there. It can give you an idea of the comfort of the rooms tonight. Be ready. Tomorrow morning, guys, please, your attention. Tomorrow morning, an early wake-up call. Really, Crystal, you will make sure of that. Early wake-up to be ready for a memory-creating moment with water sports, an orientation race with Enigma. You will have to walk in groups on the islands, and you will return to the campus tomorrow after your lunch on the island, with vegan option, I'm sure also. Tomorrow afternoon, Olivier Gauthier, who I hope will arrive soon. he just landed. Perfect. In Nice? Oh, good news. So tomorrow afternoon, Olivier has prepared you a workshop dedicated to your employability, and then you will go to the CIV, or some of you know the CIV. You will have access to a better CIV than some of you knew in the past. CIV is where you will stay for sleeping there until Saturday morning. Your presentation will take place on Wednesday and Thursday here. Of course, you will have bus doing the back and forth. That's why time is the essence, really. Your presentation will take place on Wednesday and Thursday in 6 different rooms, all upstairs here, and they're marked with marine animals. So it's not room 1, 2, 3, it's just marine animals. We have voluntarily put a mistake somewhere with an animal. You will see maybe which one. Voluntarily, of course. So we will remind this to you, but from now on, guys, really important. Once a session has started, you cannot enter or leave a room, okay? Even between presentations of a given session. Because the rooms are small, because we are live, it's to not distract people presenting and not to delay the process. I'm sure we will remind this to you. This will go super fast, really. And Thursday afternoon and Friday morning, you're free. You can take the bus, you can take the train to wherever you want. Maybe to Nice, to Monaco, to Antibes. Some of you might want to visit the Oceanographic Museum of Monaco, it's worth it. Some of you might want to dive in Cap de Nice or in Villefranche-sur-Mer, or just go to the beach, or just sleep at CIV, it's fine too. Anyway, in any case, we all meet on Friday afternoon for your graduation ceremony. Well, for those of you who will have graduated. Okay, we'll see. And this will not be as initially planned in Nice. In my video, it's true, I told you it's going to be in Nice. It's just that we realized you wanted to bring a lot of guests with you. And in Nice, it's an old building, really nice, a castle on top of a hill, really nice, yes. But you will not have, voilà, comment on dit ça? The number of guests will have been to be reduced. So we preferred saying yes to all the guests you wanted to bring, and it will be here. It's a nice building, much more modern. That's more modern, it's true. But we will be in a nice building for the graduation ceremony, and the good thing is that we can have a party, because in our old building, it was not possible. I told you in the video there will be a cocktail. Here, you will have a cocktail, and then a party. With DJ and all of those things. Just cross fingers, because it's going to be outside. And there's a Mediterranean forest. Maybe with the cicadas doing shh, 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 maybe. Okay. So now that you know everything, I would like to already largely warmly thank the coordination team of our local master here. Some of you know we are running a local master called Mares. And with the IMBRC coordination, so with Luana, Jens, Marie, Valentin, Tineke, they worked a lot to make this week the best week possible for you. So you will see them everywhere this week with the Master of Organization, Cristal Moreno, please. Wow. Vincent, so maybe you upload, I would like you to upload Cristal now, because she might sometimes ask you to do something right now. You have to follow advices. Vincent Bertrand also, that you may have seen, and I would like also to introduce a brand new member of the team, but I don't know if he's here. Tom, you will see him, he's British, so he has finally a good accent, not a French one, and he's just joining today. So it's okay if he cannot answer all your questions right now, because he just arrived this morning. So he said, oh my God, what's this thing? Also, maybe if you want to raise your hand, say hello. All the partners are here from Ghent, so Luana, Montero, Tom Woons is joining after, maybe online, Marie, Roberecht, Jens van der Boer, Tim Tinkt, Valentin, Gestlin, doing something somewhere. From UBO, maybe they will join. They're on their way from the airport to here. Olivier Gauthier, Gauthier Chal, Algarve, Karim Erzini, Margarita Castro. From ATU, Katie Odwer and Heidi Acampora. From Oviedo, Yazel Borel, Gonzalo Machado, Eva Garcia, Nicolas Weidberg. From VPM, Fabio Rindi. Whoa, Fabio! From Bergen, Audrey Geffen. From Gothenburg, Pere Aberg. Guys, please. From Sorbonne, Laurence Mejanen and Lars Stemann will join later. From Basque Country, they will join Urtsi Izaguirre. Alors là, c'est compliqué. Martiz Ortiz Zagargotio. We always call them by their first name, so it's going to be Urtsi, Marine, et Yonan. And from UCA, so Vincent, Cristal, Christophe, c'est moi, and Tom. And also, we will have colleagues, researchers, and professors who are going to join for your presentations on Wednesday and Thursday. So, it's an honor, really, once again, to have you here, guys, really. And it's not an honor also to welcome Cécile Saboureau, who is the Vice President for Université Côte d'Azur for International Affairs, and also the Director of the Marine Ecology Lab called EcoSeas.
Dear partners, dear colleagues, dear students, on behalf of our president, Yannick Brice-Walter, this is my great pleasure and honor, of course, to welcome you here at Université Côte d'Azur for the opening ceremony of the IMBRC Symposium. First, I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to all the students present here. After 2 years of rigorous study and research, you have reached a significant milestone. This symposium will not only reflect your hard work and dedication, but also celebrate the collective journey you have undertaken. As Vice President for International Affairs of Université Côte d'Azur and the head of the Marine Ecology Lab, I am particularly proud of the role we play in shaping the future of marine science. I will leave the floor just after me to Eric Rottinger, who will present how Université Côte d'Azur works on marine resources in an interdisciplinary dynamic. How we gather all research labs and expertise to help understanding marine ecosystems and promoting sustainable practices. It is through events like this here, that we can witness the fruits of our efforts and the promising future of marine research. The IMBRC program is unique, bringing together the best of marine sciences from across Europe. And of course, the best is you. It has provided you with a comprehensive education, all skills and knowledge necessary to tackle the challenges facing our oceans. This symposium is a platform for you to showcase your research, share your insights, and engage with your peers and mentors. Over the next few days, you will present your master thesis, participate in discussions, and create lasting memories with your fellow students and, of course, with colleagues, teachers, and professors and researchers. This is a rare and precious opportunity, as it is the only time in your 2-year program that you are all together in one place. Make the most of it, cherish these moments, and build connections that will last a long time. I am confident that the research presented here will not only contribute to the field of marine sciences, but also inspire new ideas and collaborations. Your work is crucial in addressing the pressing issues of marine conservation, sustainable resources management, and the impacts of climate change on oceans. Last but not least, I would like to thank all the faculty members, colleagues, partners, organizers, and who have made this event possible. To the students, I wish you the best of luck with your presentations. I look forward to learning about your research and celebrating your achievements. Thank you and welcome you again to Université Côte d'Azur. I'm sure you will enjoy the following days. Thank you.
Merci, Cécile. Okay, so here we go. We continue with Eric. So at Université Côte d'Azur, we value the richness of communication between sciences. It's not just a sentence, guys. Huh? It's a reality, and that's what Eric will try to explain. The study of the ocean, actually, of the science of marine resources, is interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary. You heard that a lot. It requires scientists from different disciplines to work together to solve the problems of the world. From economy, ecophysiology, ecology, law. And so at Université Côte d'Azur, we kind of specialize by choosing not to specialize in one domain, but by specializing in communication between the disciplines. The different labs working somehow on marine resources have gathered together in a federative institute, and it's what Eric Rottinger is going to explain. Eric Rottinger is the director of this institute and also team leader in a lab called IRCAN, working actually on aging and cancer with marine organisms. So, Eric, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So it's a great pleasure to be here today. Thank you, Christophe, and all of you. When I look at the audience here, it reminds me of a few years back when I was participating to the IMBRC summer school in Sweden, and it's a great pleasure, even if you were not there yet, or I wasn't the last years, but it's great to see you. I have to speed up because there was some miscommunication between Christophe and me, or the misunderstanding, so I was a little bit too long, so I had to shorten a little bit. I briefly introduce myself so that you get an idea who I am, what I'm doing. So I always worked on marine organisms. I started my master and my PhD working on sea urchin embryonic development at the marine station in Villefranche-sur-Mer, and then I moved to Hawaii for my postdoc, where I worked on hemichordates, sister group to echinoderms, and where I tried to do some comparative work between echinoderms. And that's where I started also to work on a sea anemone, Nematostella vectensis, and other cnidarians, which are really the focus of my lab that I created in 2013 at the Institute for Research on Cancer and Aging. I will come back to what we're doing in a few slides. I also had the opportunity and chance to be able to participate in two expeditions, the Tara Oceans and the Tara Pacific expedition. I don't know if you heard about those. I will quickly talk about the Tara Pacific expeditions later on as well. So the first part is what Cécile and Christophe mentioned. I have the pleasure of directing the Institut Fédératif de Recherche Ressources Marines from the Université Côte d'Azur. And so what is this all about? So you will discover the Mediterranean Sea a little bit more in the next few days, and after my presentation also Christophe. Here you have the Île de l'Érins, I don't know, over there. But the interesting part is that even if the university is widespread along this area in the Côte d'Azur, there are very good and different labs would have their own expertise that they built up over the last few years. We also have collaborators that are not part of the University Côte d'Azur, but in Villefranche-sur-Mer and the colleagues in Monaco. In addition to that, we have a lot of socio-economic partners in the area as well that are working in the same interest of preserving the marine environment, understanding and preserving. So the MSc Maris program that Christophe is directing was created in 2018, and the initial interdisciplinary approach of this program was 5 complementary labs, one that is directed by Cécile, one that I'm part of, the IRCAN, the chemistry, law, and economy institutes. And so starting from this dynamic, really, we wanted to build up, and with the support from the University Côte d'Azur, we created in 2020 the Research Federation Marine Resources. So to summarize what we do, and this really the interdisciplinarity within the labs, you see the summary here. So it's 10 research laboratories currently, 2 master programs, one that is the Maris program, the other one is Law of the Sea. You see, we have a lot of environmental ecology and conservation, but also biology, chemistry, health, human and environmental health, law, economy, social sciences, geosciences, mathematics and modeling, and also archaeology. So the idea is really to have a broad spectrum of different disciplines that can work together. And so far, there was some interaction between the lab, but the idea was really to try to foster the interactions. And as I mentioned earlier, we have a strong interaction, a very long-dating interaction with the colleagues in Villefranche-sur-Mer. There are 2 research laboratories with the colleagues in Monaco, one side the Centre Scientifique de Monaco and the International Atomic Energy Agency, that create really a very multidisciplinary expertise within the area. The goals of the Maris Federation that we had initially planned and that we are still pursuing is really to structure, enhance the topic and the research within a university and in collaboration with our partners, be academic or socio-economic, foster the transversal and interdisciplinary research projects, value the research with the local partners, and then importantly also is to create a strong link between the training that you are part of and the research labs, not only within our university, but more globally in France and internationally. So I will quickly go over this because it's a little detail, but we worked on trying to develop a common research project that regroups as much as possible the different labs that are part of the Research Federation. And this is not only within our university, but it's really also in integrating the different partner universities or partner laboratories that are close by, support from the region and from the department, and also the Institut de la Mer. So this is really the vision and the project that we are pursuing. Now the important aspect is really the interdisciplinarity and also the link between the training and the research in the lab. And I'm really happy to see that over the last few years we had a lot of students from the Maris program that joined the different labs, and they had the interdisciplinary perspective as well. Here a few examples. Megan Clampett, which was a PhD student in my lab, and I will go quickly present you the work that she did. Really combining coral biology and coral health and artificial intelligence. Sorry, Killian Boogie that has joined Cecile's lab. Also working on artificial intelligence and species detection. Julie Marty Castaldi that is also working at EcoSys, that is involved in marine protected areas, ecology, and also the economical aspect. Kayla Pichon that is very focused on data from the Tara Pacific expedition. And then also last year, I think the PhD that started, David Broussard, that is interested in blue economy and that has also joined the EcoSys lab in combination with GREDEC, which is a economy laboratory, and a private company, Eversea, that has been founded by two Maris students a few years back. And in addition to those local students, we also have additional students that joined labs in the US, in Norway, Sweden, sorry, Corsica, and other universities. So really, it's good to see the link between the training and the research. I will stop here about the Research Federation. I'm happy to talk about it later if we still have a little bit of time, but it's really the idea that you are trained on interdisciplinary approaches. Not everybody has to be a specialist in all disciplines, but it's good to have a notion of what can be done and how, and then create the link to the people that are really the experts. And I'm going to talk a little bit to you about what we are doing in the lab, and this is really linked to cnidarians, and we are interested in their high stress resistance, regenerative, and longevity capacity. So as Christophe mentioned, and as I said at the beginning, I'm working at the Institute for Research on Cancer and Aging. So the main interest is really the aging aspect. And as you can see here, when we age, we lose the little regenerative capacity that we already have. The stress response capacity that our cells have are declining as well during the aging process, and this is all followed by the increase of aging and aging-related diseases. And aging is a multifactorial aspect that has an input in genetics, has strong lifestyle components, but also environmental factors. So this is not only for humans important, but also for the marine environment or for the general ecological environments we are interested in. So at the IRCAN, we are interested in the aging process, the biology of aging, and try to decipher the commonality between the aging process and the appearance of aging-related diseases, to try to develop common therapeutic approaches that might prevent aging-related diseases, so it enables us to age in a healthier condition. What is interesting is that we are 16 teams, and 16 teams working not only on mice and cell culture, but also on zebrafish, on yeast, on a variety of different research models. And here we'll focus on the research models we are interested in, and those are the cnidarians. So I don't have to tell you what cnidarians are, so I will quickly skip this part. So you know that those are jellyfish, sea anemones, and corals, among others. Early branching metazoans. And why are we interested in those in the context of an aging and cancer institute? It's that they have astonishing biological features. One of them is stress resistance. We have sea anemones in the lab that we have starved for 45 weeks. So imagine what happens to you if you don't eat for 45 weeks. They're still alive. They're very small, but they're still alive. So we try to understand what they do to survive this. The other example is irradiations. So human cells die about 5, 10, 15, 20 grays. Here we can go up to 300, 400 grays of irradiations, and the cells, the animals are still alive. Those are aspects that we're trying to understand. What is the molecular mechanism that allows those animals to survive? The second aspect that we're interested in is whole body regeneration. We can cut certain sea anemones and certain corals in different pieces, and nearly each piece is able to regenerate within a few days a fully formed organism. You can imagine that if we cut a finger off, it doesn't regrow. Why do these animals do that, and why can't we as humans not regenerate? And the third aspect that links all together is the longevity. Hydra is a freshwater polyp, not a marine species, but has been estimated to be about 1,400 years old through mathematical model and long-term studies. Corals, like Porites, have been aged to about 700 years old, and there's deep-sea corals that have been estimated to more than 4,000 years old. So there's an astonishing longevity in those animals, and we have no clue why they're able to do this. So what we try to do in the lab is really to tackle the aging aspect from the stress resistance and whole body regeneration, where we try to understand the molecular and cellular mechanisms that underlie these resistance and capacities, and then see how this is linked to the extreme longevity of one of the organisms that we are mainly working on, which is Nematocella vectensis, that is indicated here. For this, we have developed a marine invertebrate facility within the medical school here in Nice, where we develop certain marine invertebrates, Nematocella, but also soft and hard corals. And the idea is to be able to push the molecular analysis in one of those organisms within the lab. But also, as I mentioned earlier, we are part of the Tara Pacific expedition and have long-term follow-up studies in Morea and in Indonesia, where we try to gather information from the field and then come back to the lab and try to link it to work in our research model. And then within the context of the IRCAN and collaborators, we try to see if there's anything we can link to mammalian or vertebrate models that enable us to see if there are potential applications in the future. If I have a few more minutes, I will talk about one project that is linked to Megan's PhD project, that is the coral environmental stress response, but also the coral health aspect and the deployment of artificial intelligence. So coral health, as you may know, is mainly defined as bleaching, and this happens when it's very hot, and I see you all pushing air, so I hope you're not going to bleach. Or the appearance of diseases. So when we started to think about this, Megan looked a little bit more into depth what the definition of health in the human-centric view is. And it's not only the presence of a disease or absence of a disease, but it's a multifactorial aspect that has to be taken into account. So working on aging, there have been several papers that describe different hallmarks of aging, and I don't go into detail of those, which are also certain hallmarks of cancer formation, which are also certain hallmarks of stress, cellular stresses. And so we took those hallmarks of aging and tried to see how can we apply this to the hallmarks of coral health. Okay, so trying to redefine or reconsider what the health concept of corals means. And so there are several aspects that can be visually accessible, that you can see here. And Megan's project was based on the Tara Pacific expedition. So what is the Tara Pacific expedition? For those who don't know, it's an expedition. Sorry, I'm too fast. It doesn't link here. It's an expedition that was launched between 2016 and 2018 across the Pacific. You see the different spots, 32 islands that were visited. It involved 80 scientists, close to 20 labs in 8 different countries. Also with the colleagues from Centre Scientifique de Monaco, which was one of the main coordinator of the program, colleagues from Villefranche Marine Station and the IRCAN. So there were a total of 102 sampling sites, 10 samples per site per species for the coral. In addition, there was fish, plankton, water, environmental contextual data. So there's a total of close to 60,000 samples that have been sampled during this expedition for a multi-omics purpose. So the samples were sent out in different labs. Each lab was looking at telomere lengths, transcriptomic data, metabolomics data, proteomics data, and the consortium is still working and trying to continue to work on this. And there's a first batch of papers that came out last year. So this is good and interesting, and it pushed the molecular understanding from the coral physiology and coral perspective across the Pacific. But each of the colonies that were sampled have been imaged as well. So there were a pool of 14,000 images that were the correspondence to those different multi-omics markers that were looked at. And nobody has really looked into those images. So what we wanted to do is to see if we can assess all those coral images that were sampled during the Tara Pacific expedition and see if we can apply certain hallmarks that might be linked to the health state of the corals, or the physiological state of the corals. So this was work that was done by Megan Clampett, and I will talk about about Marco in a second. Megan went through the 11,000 images manually and looked at each individual photo for those 9 hallmarks that I quickly, briefly showed you here. It took 4.5 months to go over all those images. So it takes quite a lot. It takes expertise. And then the question was, can we apply an artificial intelligence approach to do the same thing but in shorter time? And that's why we set up a collaboration with a colleague from the University of d'Azur, Marco Milanesio, which is an expert in AI. And together they developed AI machines, and I can't go into detail because I'm really not a specialist about all this. But the main message is here, and I'll show you only the result of the accuracy of the bleaching. We have about 80% accuracy, which corresponds to what we do when we do a manual annotation. 2 different annotators look at the same images, so there's not 100% accuracy involved in this. The same set of images takes only a few milliseconds. And we did this for all the machines. And so we have now working machines for the Tara Pacific data set. We tested this on other ones. It doesn't work as well. And that's why we set up a collaboration with colleagues in Indonesia, where we pursue the whole process in getting new images and optimizing the definition of health, and also the AI machines so they can robustly extract information from those coral images. And here we'll stop here as well. The main point is really that it's an interdisciplinary and collaborative effort that is important to be able to do this kind of stuff. And as I said, I'm not an AI specialist, so we needed really the input of AI specialists to do this. And then I will finish with some slides that are not really science related. I showed you at the beginning my brief and quick career, which is a straight linear thing. Started a few years back, and now I'm a senior rescue researcher. I have a team at the IRCAN. I'm the director of the EFMRS. I'm the deputy director of the MSc. I'm a president of a non-profit organization. I'm a part of a startup that was created a few years back. This all looks fine and fancy, but I just wanted to show you the past, which is not very, very linear. So I grew up in Germany, Munich, and we have a book, and it's probably in other countries, where we sort of write down what kind of colors we like, what of food we like, and what we want to become in the future. And about 10 years back, a friend of mine reminded me that I always wanted to be a diver. I wanted to do something underwater. So this is not my picture, okay? So I took it from the web because she couldn't find the book anymore. But anyway, the message is I tried to do something like this. So in primary school, I wanted to become a diver, something to do underwater, okay? And this is the future. And then the line became completely different. So after high school, I was wondering, what do I want to become? And I wanted to become either a scientist or a photographer. I started science, and then I got very, very far from marine sciences. And I got one advice by one of my professors that I shouldn't do marine sciences too early. I should do molecular biology and biochemistry. And I think it was a good choice because I finished in marine sciences. But at this point, I wasn't really sure if I managed to come back to marine sciences again. But doing my master, as I said, I was finally getting back and applying what I learned in a complete different discipline for me at the first time, because I was looking at C. elegans and looking at cell culture and signaling pathways that I wasn't really interested in. I wanted to study marine biology. But doing my master and then my PhD, was finally coming back into the marine area. And at the same time, I did a lot of swimming, and I started to do photography as well. So I trained and wanted to become a photographer again. And finally, in the US and Hawaii, I was able to combine photography and the science, because we were taking portraits of the organisms we were working on, and try to use this for not only the papers, but also for outreach activities. All this to tell you that at the end, I think I somehow managed to stay in this field, and it wasn't linear. It was just going back and forth and different aspects, different opportunities. And that's sort of the end of my presentation. Is not very fancy, but really follow your dreams and your convictions. Be inspired. I had to remove a whole aspect of a bio-inspiration, because I think we can learn a lot of the organisms that we are studying. Don't listen to people that say it's not possible. I heard so often during my career that it's not possible, don't do this, don't do that. I did it anyway, and somehow worked out. So just try to find your way. Explore something that appears unrelated at the first instance, but try then to use it to come back to your initial track, because I really think that all the expertise, and when I look at the CVs from all of you, you have already such experience, and as Luana said, you're having internships that you're doing all around the world. So I would have loved to do this. And then I think one aspect that's really important, and it comes back to the interdisciplinarity that we mentioned, Cécile, Christophe, and me here, and that is part of your program. You are not expert in everything. You don't have to be expert in everything, but you are the next generation of scientists. Some of you will be expert in something, some of others. It's important that you all stay connected and in touch. The day you want to develop something that needs the expertise of somebody else, just call your colleagues, call also your teachers. It's also part of your network. And with that, I would like to finish. Keep up the great work. Enjoy the Côte d'Azur, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Eric, for sharing all of that, including your research, but also your experience. I think it's really important you hear that now, and it's really great you shared that. So maybe I will take 30 seconds also to speak about me. It's just that the idea you have about what you want to do now may change, and it's okay, really. I've done a PhD on marine biology, studying fantastic marine phytoplankton in the framework of designing biofuel. Well, at some point I realized during my PhD that it was super great what I was doing, but maybe it was too tiny, and I was scared to specialize too much. And then, after my PhD, I decided to explore a new territory. That's why I want to talk about that. I used to work after that for 10 years in a business school. The dark side. It's recorded. and it was really I think it was my way of being impactful. We all of us, I think all of you will have different ways of being impactful. I try to take the hands of people and they can speak together to find solutions. And after 10 years, I'm really happy to be back at the university. But and I finished by being a director of a master program. And you never know exactly what will be the future, so take the opportunities. That's just that. You don't have to applaud. It's fine. We have to continue. Just a few words now about, so really good that you were talking about some fantastic things because nobody is sleeping. Some of you are really hot, I can see. Warm, I mean, sorry. My French, it's not just a French accent, huh? It's So I would like to talk to you a few words about the Mediterranean Sea. Just a few words, and just it leads us to les Reims. The Mediterranean Sea, maybe you know, it's the Mare Mediterra, because it used to be the sea in between all the lands at that time. It's a shallower and warmer seas, of course, than the rest of the ocean. We are talking about 1% of the ocean. You can see the average, it's 1,500 meters only, and there are two main basins. We are on the west one, and it barely connects the west basin to the east basin. You can see the topography. It has a consequence just after. The Mediterranean Sea has been the cradle for European civilization. It started 4,000 years ago with the Phoenicians, the first having the skills to navigate at sea. It helped them to develop trade. Economy was already in the place. The homeland of Phoenicians, it was where is Lebanon now. And I skip a lot of slides and a lot of time, but now the Mediterranean Sea is also a place where people can exchange. You can exchange goods, you can exchange also ideas. Looking at the biodiversity, here you have the chlorophyll A. So I don't have to introduce that. Just once again, you can see a difference between the west basin and the eastern basin, because the only big connection you may know is Gibraltar on the west. Already, our basin is much more oligotrophic than the Atlantic. We won't find a lot of species that you may find in the Atlantic. We have whales anyway and top predators, but it's a bit oligotrophic. That's why the Mediterranean Sea is transparent, by the way. On the eastern basin, you have almost no connections between the currents coming from the Atlantic and the eastern basin, so much less nutrients, so even more oligotrophic. When you will put your head in the water, if you dare, even with no sun this afternoon, you may see different habitats. You may see rocky shores, rocky habitats with algae, a lot of fish on there because they can hide, it provides nurseries, food and shelter. Especially the big meadows of Posidonia. It's our seagrass. We are really proud of the seagrass. You can say, okay, it's just green leaves. But it's a kind of our little mangrove. It's creating a lot of oxygen, a lot of food for the fish. It protects the shores from erosion. Also, it's a source of a carbon sink, and you can make money with that, but we're not going to talk about that now. You can also have sandy habitats. So here you have an octopus hiding here, but of course you will see less interesting things easily on sand, because if something is not hiding over the sand, it's eaten really fast. It doesn't mean that there is no biodiversity there, but it's just hiding. If you like hiding, if you like searching in the sand, you may have time to find something. And the last one is, of course, the open sea. The rocky habitats with algae, we used to call that now the forest, the marine forest, even if it's this high. Just really quickly, you have different types of primary producers. The algae, I'm not going into detail with the names. Cystoxera, maybe some of you know, are really important because the one up there, they grow really slowly. So if you find a lot of them, it's an indicator of good health of the habitat. Posidonia, here it's interesting, it's these big meadows. If you just snorkel a bit, have a look in between the leaves, you may find a lot of nice things, but be careful, of course. Posidonia, it's a seagrass as opposed to seaweed. It is not an algae. It's a higher plant, having roots, having flowers sometimes, not every year. And when it flowers, when it blooms, it also makes fruits looking like olives. Sometimes you can find kind of olives on the beach. Well, no, it's actually the fruits of Posidonia. Posidonia grows super slowly, and it accumulates a lot of carbon in the leaves, transfers this carbon to the roots, and it can sequestrate carbon for thousands of years. I am not saying that for blue carbon and money. I'm just saying that because it's really important. Because when you destroy Posidonia, you put back into the atmosphere the carbon that has been sequestrated for thousands of years. Well, I'm using a shortcut here, but trust me. In open water, if you're lucky, if you swim fast, you can find sea bream, sea bass. You can find them at a restaurant as well. It's really good. Attention, the only thing that can make your week a bit problematic from the beginning is that. That's the only jellyfish that you may not want to touch for sure, Pelagia. It can be bluish, brownish, often purplish. Okay, so it's this size, sometimes this size, and it's really nasty. You don't want to touch that. The other ones, maybe you know the fried egg jellyfish, it's funny. It comes later, most of the time later in the process because it's a predator of something else, so you see that more in August, September. And the barrel jellyfish, the same. So you may only see Pelagia, unfortunately. For sandy shores, you may also see flatfish. You may not want to find a greater weaver, there's not a lot. And also, my point is here that all the animals on sandy shores are adapted to not be detected and not be eaten. Wow. But we are really proud also of our emblematic big fish, le mérou, the dusky grouper. It can go up to 5 meters. Yes. No. It means simply that it's most of the time below 5 meters deep. But so at Les Reims, you may find some of them, small ones. If you want to dive on Thursday afternoon or Friday morning, you can go in an MPA, for example, or close to an MPA, and you may find bigger dusky grouper. What you will find for sure when you put your head in the water at Les Reims, it's a lot of wrasses, including the hornet wrasse or the rainbow wrasse. Depending on the season, they may have different colors. I don't know if you know that, but wrasses, they can change their sex through the year. So they can be female and become male, male becoming female, and at some point there are different sexes and they can make babies. Currently, you have a lot of females. So, no, sorry, I'll do it again. You have a lot of males for the wrasses, and males are much more colorful than females. I'm talking about fish. And so currently, the hornet wrasse here is actually super blue. It's the same with this one. Oh no. Also, you have some things crawling at the bottom. If you find an octopus, the octopus will be super happy to play with you if you're nice and gentle. But in the fish, the crénilappan here, the peacock wrasse, it's the moment of the year where it's super colorful because it's a male. Most of them are males. They are turning into females and they lose their color, they become brownish. The the salpa, Salema porgi, they live in schools. You will see them in schools above the Posidonia bottoms. And just to tell you also that there are protected species, like the dolphin. I'm not sure you will see a dolphin, but there are a lot of dolphins and marine mammals. We used to have monk seals, but because of us, what we did to the monk seals a long time ago, they are confined to the eastern part of the Med Sea mostly. Be aware that the mérou, the dusky grouper, is also protected, as well as the tortucawan, so Careta careta, that regularly comes on our shores still to, more and more by the way, compared to the last years, to nest. There are of course a lot of measures taken to avoid tourists or locals to mess with the eggs. And also some urchins, la grande nacre, the noble penshell, Pinna nobilis. It's really emblematic from here. It has been attacked by a parasite in the last years, but it's recovering a little bit. And also the slipper lobster, which we call the grand cigale, all of these animals are protected. But anyway, at Les Reims, you may not see a dolphin or a monk seal, but at least I'm sure you will find some nice fish. Just to remind you the context of what you will see. We are somewhere here, okay? We are here. We are good with that. So we are in between Toulon and Antibes, so the islands are here. And actually, it's a Natura 2000 area, not the best type of protection. Natura 2000 area means that you're not going to mess with the area more than what it is. In other words, they cannot create new hotels or new things like that. But it's not that fishermen are not allowed to fish. It's not like boaters are not allowed to put their to moor, to put their anchor. And there is a lot of damages with the anchors. Maybe you will see that already, because we're in the summer period, and in between the two islands, you may see a lot of boats already. What is interesting is to see that this is a Natura 2000 area. This Natura 2000 area encompasses a large region, conveniently excluding the coastline of the continent. Anyway, here is what you may see. So this is an archipelago composed by two main islands. This is the southest island. It belongs to monks. They make really nice and expensive wine and olive oil. It's in between the two islands where you will find much more boats, I think, now. This is the main island, which is, as you can see, a forest, a reserve forest. And on this side, you have also a fish farm, and you can see that the connection is really, it's a really narrow passage between this island and Cannes. The island is mostly having a rocky shore, so you can also walk along the coastline. You have a lot of creeks, and you may not want to all stay together on the same place, but explore the different areas. You can see you have areas where you have more sandy areas. This place here, where you have this lagoon thing, you also have a museum. It's an underwater museum. You have statues that you can go dive and see. And you can see that the statues, whoa, Brest! Brest is in the place. So you have an island just in Bretagne, close to Roscoff, with these colors too, you may know. So there is a lot of different habitats. Rocky, guys, please, your attention. Rocky, sandy, whatever. What you have to know is that tonight we will be on this fort. It's a medieval fort, a really old fort, imagined by Louis XIV a long time ago. I was not joking when I told you that the man with the iron mask was there. So it's not a legend, it was really, it's a prison. But you are not going to sleep in the prison. The prison is on the left, and we will stay on the right. And there is a terrace here on the right. It's where we'll have dinner. As I was telling you, I hope we will have the sun at some point that will arrive. If people from Brest have arrived safely, maybe we will have sun tonight. And just a few words to finish about the biodiversity there. Actually, it's more than 10 years that with our students, we are going every year at Les Reims. A few of you here have been invited as special guests last time. We have different sampling designs. The one I wanted to talk about here is that since 11 years, we have our students, like citizen science, we are looking at all around the islands the biodiversity we see. It's cheap science. Basically, you have happy people. At the beginning of the day, they're happy. At the end, they are tired, and they hate me. But we are safely in our boats, and there are 6 teams like that everywhere. So thanks to them, you can know that the fish you will see most are the girelle, so the wrasse I'm talking about before, also the 2-banded sea bream, like you see here. I don't know if you're good in orientation, but those are the islands. And with the boat, we will arrive here on the port. The fort is here. So when you are on the north part, you will see Cannes. It's kind of urbanized. It's not really nice. If you go more on this part here, you're on the other side of the island, and you see the sea and not Cannes. And actually, it's weird, but it's also where we find much more biodiversity. What you see here is a simple richness as number of species found in each of the plots. And we can see that as you move away from the port and the beach, and the more you will see biodiversity. So just similarly, what you can see, of course, box plots and R, just a few slides. No, just box plots. Of course, alors there is more species on Saint Honorat than on Sainte Marguerite, so the one belonging to the monks. I don't think it has something to do with religion, just because it's an island which is more distant, more rocky, and more less impacted by humans. Of course, you will find much more species over rocks and Posidonias and on sands. And over rocks, more you have algae and the more you have species, okay? Richness according to the quantity of algae. Actually, you can always have, you can do science wherever you want, and it's a kind of our playground. So I just wanted to share that with you, and I hope you will use this time on the island to have a look to our Mediterranean biodiversity. Okay, so it's almost over, and we are super early, actually. So, Eric will continue to, no. No, what's coming now? The bus thing, the guys from the bus, it's not that they're not nice, but just it's work thing. So they really have to follow the time. So we will, the bus will arrive in something like 15 minutes, I think. We will board the bus. You have different bus. No worries if you cannot go on board your friends. You're all going together. We're all taking the same shuttle. Where we arrive at Cannes. We arrive at one of the port of Cannes in the parking. So just follow us. We will all board, I hope, in the same shuttle. When we arrive on the island, you will have time there. You will have a big sign with a map to know where you are and where you can go. There are maps everywhere on the island. You will have something like more than 1 hour to just enjoy the island. Okay. Yes, you can go in the water. Maybe you won't have a shower before dinner, but you are MBRC students, so come on. You've seen worse. And Sam will go for tomorrow between your activities and the workshop here. Be aware. But do you have your phone with you? Do you have the app? Seriously. There is an app. You're not aware there is an app? It's a mobile website. Creative, no, Marine Minds. Marine Minds. In other words, do you have the online schedule? Okay, good, good. I'm old, you know, I'm talking about an app. So you have it, it's good because we will always look at that. Tout le temps, always. If you're late in class, that's bad. If you're late to take the shuttle, you swim. And there is a strong current between the continents, so don't swim, we will lose you. I'm not kidding. Guys, please, at the CIV, to come here in the morning. If you're really not, if you miss your wake-up call and you miss the bus, you will have to run. So there is no alternatives. So really, it's important that you're always on time. The bus, we cannot ask them to stay and wait for us for 15 minutes. Okay? So it will have to be quite fast. It's really my main thing. Two other things. Second thing, just to remind you that you really have to be respectful for all the students presenting, even people who are not you. Okay, so once you've passed your presentation, please, we all count on you, we'll all rely on you to be here and participate to the other presentations. To not enter or leave during a session, it's important. And the other thing I wanted to tell you is enjoy. Take the best of these moments. As we all told you, we know that for a long distant past, but it's the best moment you can imagine. You're all together. We're also here, and I really hope we will all spend an exciting time. Okay? Enjoy. Also, so the buses should arrive in 15 minutes. It will be on the parking, which is just there. Just the parking here.